Bob Evans, a senior vice president at Realtor.com, falsely implied that Homes.com was working against real estate agents at a time when people are understandably anxious about the NAR class action lawsuits. It is a cheap shot to manipulate people's emotions. This is Byron Lazine and Nicole White, and you are tuned into episode 298 of The Real Word.
Word is up.
Infighting is up in the real estate industry.
Infighting?
Nicole, you have infighting. Is that what they call it when like family members are fighting?
Infighting. I don't know.
Infighting.
I
Fighting
don't really
in-house.
usually have family members fighting, so I don't.
No, not the
lingo.
White House.
Even
You
after
guys are.
Thanksgiving, it's like we're all still friends and we all like each other still.
Yes, but there can be infighting in between a group or a family. I think that's what it's called. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but you've got what I would consider infighting in the real estate industry. A lot of people taking a lot of shots across the board.
For sure.
You have CoStar, which owns Homes.com, taking a shot across to Realtor.com after they say that Realtor.com took the first shot. So I guess you would say that CoStar is defending themselves from a shot that they believe Realtor.com took at them. Let's get into...
And doing a counterpunch too. I mean...
And a counterpunch. Why not? I mean, if you're going to get swung at, you'd swing back, right?
I suppose, but I think you need to read the email because it's... Yes.
Let's go through the email. Andy Florance, who I have said for years is the gangster of all gangsters in real estate. He's built CoStar to a 30 plus billion market cap. I mean, we can look at what the market cap is today, but just to put it in perspective, on any given day, CoStar's market cap would be 3x bigger than Zillow. CoStar could swallow Zillow. Realtor.com, they almost bought Realtor.com for about 10% of market cap, their market cap. Market cap right now is 34.31 billion at time of this recording. So 34 billion. I'll give you Zillow's up to the minute market cap. Might even be under 10 billion right now. It's 9.34 billion. So they're 3.5 times bigger than Zillow. So that's how, just to set the stage of who CoStar is. Andy Florance, the CEO, they own, LoopNet, they own Homes.com, which, we're going to focus on for this email with residential. They own landandfarm.com. They have a whole bunch of different assets. Okay. So they attended because of the growth of Homes.com, which Homes.com bought HomeSnap. Nicole, you have a place in your heart for HomeSnap, or is that just other agents?
I've never used HomeSnap.
There's a lot of agents that have.
There are a lot of agents, but no, I've never used HomeSnap.
But HomeSnap is an asset of Homes.com. For those of you familiar with HomeSnap, Homes.com had a booth at NAR NXT, which was the week before last. Okay, so he sent out an email to those who visited the booth. I want to thank the thousands of you that visited the Homes.com booth at NAR NXT, or who experienced the event that they did. So they did a little party or whatever. They had the Goo Goo Dolls at the House of Blues.
I see that.
Would you have gone?
I mean, I would have gone. I'm not a Goo Goo Dolls fan, but I would have attended.
Next sentence. We are proud supporters of all agents and NAR, and we're honored to be part of the conference. So proud supporter of all agents, proud supporter of the National Association of Realtors. This is CEO Andy Florance speaking on behalf of Homes.com, CoStar CEO, that is. Thousands of you gave us very positive feedback on the new Homes.com because it is built on the principle of your listing, your lead. So here's where Homes.com and portals like Realtor.com or Zillow are very different from each other. Homes.com believes that if it's your listing, the lead goes directly to you. Where Zillow believes, and Realtor.com, they've built the portal, they've built the marketplace that when a listing goes into Zillow, it's their lead, and they'll disperse that lead as they see fit through their partnership programs that Zillow and Realtor.com have with agents. Okay. So on its face, you've got Zillow and Realtor.com. They're a portal. They're going to take those leads, have ownership of those, and sell those back to agents.
Right.
Not necessarily the listing agent. Homes.com says that your leads that come in on your listing, it's your lead, it's your listing, it's your lead. They go back directly to you. That resonates with a lot of agents, what Homes.com does.
For sure.
Which of the two resonates more with you?
I mean, obviously I want my own listings on my own. I mean, my own leads on my own listings. I mean, who
You've
doesn't?
always been very passionate about that.
I mean, everyone wants their own leads on their own listings. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of agents, I think, would agree with you, Nicole, on that.
Of course.
Now, here's the other side to think about. How many listing agents, rule of thumb, just your experience, Nicole, this is a loose number, roughly, just in the market.
Yeah.
How many listing agents do you experience have timely responses?
Timely.
Like
what's timely?
Like a buyer
immediate?
reaches out and they talk to somebody immediately on 100% of their interactions.
Maybe a quarter.
Get the most out of our content at BAM by joining BAMX. You can use code REALWORD to get 10% off of BAMX today. Like our YouTube accountability group, all of our courses, live streams, and direct access to our BAM creators in our Facebook group. You also get our daily downloads from the hot sheet every single day. Join BAMX by using code REALWORD to get 10% off today. Yeah, so I would say it's significantly less than that, but a quarter, you're being generous, I think. So
Okay.
as a consumer of Homes.com, here's the argument against your listings, your lead. As a consumer, if I reach out through Homes.com and sometimes I get a call back, sometimes I talk to somebody right away, sometimes I don't, I have an inconsistent experience now with the brand of Homes.com.
Right.
If they're a rock star agent, they've got a setup where I'm getting communication every time I call. My questions are answered. A very busy solo listing agent may not be able to respond, or a part-time listing agent rather might be a better definition, might not be responsive. And so that's where I think Zillow and Realtor.com, from a consumer's perspective, might win that argument where the consumer's like, I'm talking to somebody, I'm getting an appointment set immediately.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that's just the debate.
Well, and I think what's interesting is, again, in the email, he's saying that the consumer prefers to talk directly to a listing agent. But I will say, I am in agreement with you, because I almost don't think that the consumer realizes the lack of response. I think they're kind of assuming that the agent will get back to them, because why wouldn't they, right? Like, I want to buy your listing. So I think that, again, what he's saying obviously is what we all would kind of assume. But if they're not getting the experience, if they haven't received that negative experience yet,
what he's saying resonates with agents. The next sentence: your listings are the result of your hard work and good reputation. The leads from your listings should be yours, and other portals should not be taking your leads away from you and making billions of dollars selling them off to a small group of your competitors. Again, I'm just giving you both sides. I think the other side, Zillow, Realtor.com, would say it's our portal, so those are our leads.
Right.
There's, I think, an argument here to be had on both sides. Home buyers have consistently told us in focus groups that they hate it when they hit the contact agent button, hoping to learn more about a home, and they get sold off as a lead to any number of agents who then cold call them dozens or hundreds of times. Home buyers prefer Homes.com because they're interested in the property. They reach out to the listing agent who knows more about the property than anybody else. Home buyers also told us that we have the best agent directory, a directory where we can, I'm going to paraphrase here, just research agents. So here's the other line in the sand, not saying, which one's right, which one's wrong. I'm just giving you the lines in the sand here. Here's the other line in the sand that Homes.com is saying. Homes.com, if they believe that the lead should go directly to the listing agent, then they believe wholeheartedly in dual agency. Zillow at their Unlock conference a few weeks ago in Austin, Texas, stated very clearly they do not believe in dual agency. They believe in single representation. So you have, and I don't know where Realtor.com stands on it. They'll probably, maybe they'll just ride the fence. Maybe that's a safe
Well,
spot for
maybe. I
them.
mean,
But
obviously, realtor would have to be behind, where I guess against the dual agency, because if they're
they'd have to
selling
be
leads to
against.
people that what?
I don't know. I think Realtor.com would just knowing Realtor.com a little bit. I think they'd say both.
No
We
comment?
like both. I think they like both. Okay. So Zillow said very crystal clear against dual agency. Andy Florance in this email does not reference dual agency at all. Does not. I don't know where he stands on it. But reading between the lines, you're listing your lead. You'd imagine they support dual agency because from a listing agent perspective, if you're going to send me if you're against dual agency homes.com,
Right.
but you're going to send me all of the leads direct. Now I'm doing the job of the buyer agent and then flipping them over to say homes.com was like, we're against dual agency. So now I'm taking all those calls and the buyer agent is the one working with the buyer. So, love to know where Zillow's been very clear on that. Now Zillow is going to get themselves in a pickle as well with they have a new showing time product that does send showing. It's a showing time listing showcase, which does send leads directly to listing agents. But
Mhm.
they say on one hand they're against dual agency, but those leads are going directly to listing agents. So they're going to get themselves in a little bit of a pickle there. So you might be imagining, well, how the heck is homes.com if they're not selling leads back to to other agents? How they can make money? They're going to do what they've done with LoopNet, where you're going to get extra, kind of like what this showing time placement product for Zillow is. You're going to get extra placement by paying homes.com as they continue to get more traffic on your listing, so that it enhances the unique views on that listing. That'll be one of the revenue models for homes.com in the future, which he references in this email is the fastest growing real estate portal. He being Andy Florance, CEO of CoStar, fastest growing real estate portal in America. In September, we crossed 100 million unique visitors to the site, placing homes.com above realtor.com and most of our competitors. So being very direct in where they rank against realtor.com. This is good news for real estate agents everywhere. We believe that the millions of leads we are generating by connecting home buyers directly to agents is generating billions of dollars of commissions for those agents. Okay. As I'm sure you have heard, some of our competitors are hurting. Their web traffic numbers are down. Their revenue is down. That's true in the case of, for example, the company that they pointed out, Realtor.com. That they don't say Realtor.com, but I guess I'll just share it with you. Their web traffic is down on Realtor.com, which would certainly bring Realtor. Now that being said, almost everybody, including Zillow's web traffic, is down because the demand in real estate is also down. Homes.com has been very aggressive through you see it. We talked about it on YouTube. They were very aggressive on YouTube pre-roll ads. They're still being aggressive on YouTube pre-roll ads. You might see a homes.com ad on this video. Okay. They've also been very aggressive in Google pay-per-click. So they've been pouring money in to drive traffic up. It's
Right.
how Zillow built their model. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. In response, these other competitors, Andy Florance says, are lashing out, circulating rumors, and at worst, making false statements about homes.com. So now he's going to address these shots at, or what they believe and perceive as shots to homes.com. We heard that at the NAR NXT opening party, Bob Evans, a senior vice president at Realtor.com, falsely implied that Homes.com was working against real estate agents. At a time when people are understandably anxious about the NAR class action lawsuits, it is a cheap shot to manipulate people's emotions and to smear competitors. Wow. There's some weight to that statement.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing went from "Thank you so much. It was so great meeting you," and then it really just the email's way longer going against this whole argument
Well,
than
he's addressing what he wants to address.
he
Okay,
definitely
I
is
got no
addressing
problem
what he
with this.
wants to address.
Next paragraph. I want to set the record straight. Homes.com is the most the most pro agent portal in the industry. To be clear, we are not behind, nor have we supported the plaintiffs in the Sitzer Burnett trial in any way whatsoever. To suggest otherwise is absurd, and considering we are defendants in one of the copycat lawsuits. Now, I made the joke last week. I said, you could, so who's funding all these Michael Ketchmark lawsuits that's making him tens of tens of millions of dollars? I did make the joke that you could,
You
come up with a conspiracy
of CoStar.
a wild conspiracy. Not do I believe that to be the case at all. And it's stated here clearly for everyone to read in the Andy Florance email that is absurd. Okay, so making that very clear to anybody, including myself, whoever has thought of wild conspiracies in the past. CoStar Group operates dozens of companies, one of which is an independent commercial real estate news service called CoStar News. Each week, that news service publishes thousands of stories, and one is a column featuring the person that week who had the greatest news impact. 2 weeks ago, CoStar News reporter selected Michael Ketchmark, the attorney in the Missouri litigation, as newsmaker of the week. Nothing in the article supported anything Mr. Ketchmark is doing. I first learned of the article last Saturday evening. I had it removed immediately. So CEO of a $35 billion cap company comes down to the news company that he owns,
Well, he
the
was
little
probably
media
watching
company.
the Inman hashtag too
And so the Inman hashtag that we talked about
last week.
last week, cancel Inman because they were going to have Michael Ketchmark on stage. He's no longer on stage,
Yeah.
Nicole. They've now since made it clear he will not be at
I mean,
Inman
no
Connect.
surprise.
There was some conversation that he didn't like the questions though that Brad was going to be asking him. I don't know if that's just Inman just floating that out there to be like, well, we were going to ask what's
The
that
tough
Barbara Walters
questions.
clip with Donald Trump? She's like, "Are you ready for tough questions?" That's like Brad Inman and Michael Ketchmer. Are you ready for tough questions, Michael? A lot of people have been floating out the thought of having Michael Ketchmark speak in some type of format. Ricky Carruth had a video up, which is no longer on his YouTube, that said him and Michael Ketchmark had a communication. I think it was a phone communication, and that they were going to do a future video. Well, that video of him explaining that is no longer up. So I don't know what's happened there, but Ketchmark's been active in, like, I think he likes the spotlight
I
that
mean, we've
he's
known
got.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So they made an article. Apparently, this is the first I'm hearing of it. Is with Andy Florance addressing it in this email to agents. Apparently, there must have been some type of heat, just like Inman had gotten on having him potentially on stage. Coming down from the top, Andy Florance says, remove this article. I understand that the article was viewed by some realtors as insensitive and poorly timed, and for that, I apologize. I take full responsibility. It will not happen again. I love Andy Florance is so refreshing because he's so accountable. He's so real. He doesn't talk in
Words.
in tech talk.
Yeah.
He gives it to you straight. I love I heard him speak at T3 Summit this year, and you had a lot of CEOs on stage, and a lot of them gave CEO talk, word talk, like we like to say, a
Words.
lot of
Yeah. A
words,
lot of words.
just words jumbled together. He just goes straight. He just cuts through the BS, and he does it there in that paragraph. Next paragraph. But there is something very important that the senior vice president of Realtor.com failed to tell you when he falsely pointed a finger at Homes.com, getting direct and in Realtor.com's grill. the company that Realtor.com is a part of has been savagely assaulting the National Association of Realtors and Realtors, and has in fact voiced clear support for what Mr. Ketchmark has done to NAR, MLSs, brokerages, and agents in the Sitzer Burnett trial. And on this, Andy Florance couldn't be more right. The company that owns Realtor.com, which is News Corp, which owns Wall Street Journal, pushed out an article on the day of the Sitzer Burnett trial, which was clearly bought and paid for by Michael Ketchmark. It was erroneous. It was claiming that real estate agents are a cartel, that there is this wild conspiracy, like it was baked in the cake before there was ever a trial and a retrial ever even started. It was the morning of. Many people mistakenly believe that Realtor.com is a part of NAR, Florance writes in the email. In fact, it is not. It was sold years ago and is now owned by News Corp. The Wall Street Journal and Realtor.com are sister companies, he says in the email. They work together closely. The folks that call the shots for Wall Street Journal and Realtor.com are one and the same. Now, he's saying they work together closely, and I've heard Realtor.com say the same thing, Nicole. I've heard Realtor.com say we have advantages that nobody else has because of Wall Street Journal and these other assets that News Corp has. This is how we're going to, through content, push traffic onto the Realtor.com site for our partners,
Right.
to generate more leads.
Leads. Yeah.
Well, how did you let Wall Street Journal put out that article then if you do have that much influence? That article going out tells me that what Realtor.com has been saying about their close relationship with Wall Street Journal, it's either broken or it doesn't exist.
Right.
You can't dispute what Andy Florance is saying there. He's coming with facts. He's got inside baseball interwoven into this email. It's very true. I mean, this is the ownership structure. And I agree with him on, hey, Realtor.com, why isn't Wall Street Journal supporting the position that you have with your partners? Very interesting. Very, very interesting. The Wall Street Journal has been prolifically writing more than most about the Sitzer Burnett class action lawsuit and the NAR defeat. They have published article titles such as Home Sellers Take on the Realtors Cartel, Almost No One Pays a 6% Commission Except Americans, The Upending of One of America's Most Popular Professions, The Way You Pay to Buy or Sell a Home is About to Change, Jury Finds Realtors Conspired to Keep Commissions High, Real Estate Commissions Could Be the Next Fee on the Chopping Block. These are all articles written by Wall Street Journal, and Realtor.com, to Andy Florence's point, has stated that we've got a great asset to push content into our portal. Well, not with articles like this. Realtors face an antitrust reckoning. These are some quotes from a member of the Journal's editorial board from an opinion piece. Nicole, you see the quotes in front of you here?
I see them all.
Why don't you read those quotes back to us?
Though it claims to help consumers, if NAR is a cartel that seeks primarily to enrich its members by expanding government control over middle-class Americans' largest source of wealth, their homes. If the plaintiffs prevail, home buyers and sellers could save $120 billion in fees each year. Half of the country's real estate agents who work as buyer brokers might have to find another, more economically productive line of work.
Listen to that. A more economically productive line of work. This writer from Wall Street Journal is like Michael Ketchmark.
Real estate agent.
Hates real estate. Is just taking an absolute shot.
Yes.
Doesn't like real estate agents. Oh, they only had to go to class for 60 hours and I had to go for 6 years and they make more money than me at the Journal.
Yep.
I hate those people.
Hate them. They do nothing.
Yeah.
They do nothing. Yeah.
Of course.
Since MLS databases are de facto monopolies, sellers have no choice but to pay inflated commissions to buyer brokers, even when they do little or no work.
Little or no work. Why do over 90% of home sellers and buyers then choose
Right.
to use an agent when you have every option available to you
Oh,
in
yeah.
today?
Social media,
You
TikTok.
have
I mean, there's tons of free ways
to list your
now.
house on Facebook Marketplace. The last 3 years was such a crazy market. You could list your home on Facebook Marketplace and get leads. Why do consumers, though, choose to use an agent?
Right.
Because they don't wanna do the job themselves. They have a job, they have kids, they have a lot of they don't wanna be in contact with 20, 30 different agents and 20, 30 different consumers,
Yes.
questions, showings, coordination, home inspector appraisals, the whole process. They wanna hire a manager.
Right. A
How come
GC of
owners
sorts. Yeah.
yeah, how come owners hire a GC to run the project instead of DIY on their home? How come
Right.
owners of companies hire a general manager? Because they don't wanna deal with all the day-to-day. They wanna own the company, they wanna grow the company. Owners of homes wanna own the home, they wanna live in the home, they wanna grow their equity and go on to the next deal. They don't want to manage the process for a small fee, which is what agents do. Agents manage the process, the entire deal, for a very small fee. So these journalists writing, and journalist is a loose term today,
Mm.
um, that they do little or no work. I mean, you do little or no journalism over at the Wall Street Journal. You do little or no journalism at the Wall Street Journal. The Wall Street Journal, if you want to be real, what they are today is they pump whoever's giving them money. Michael Ketchmark, I'm making the wild claim here, is pumping or giving them money for them to take this position, more money than their sister company, Realtor.com, is apparently giving them. Same thing with you look at the military industrial complex. Why is Wall Street Journal more pro-war than any other news publication in the world? Because you got the military industrial complex pumping money into Wall Street Journal because they want to see war. That's a whole rabbit hole. We'll
Whole
just
nother
stop
rabbit
there. But
hole. Yes.
let's wrap this one up here.
You want me to finish reading these?
Yeah, go with the last couple ridiculous quotes from the Wall Street Journal.
Do you want me to read them? Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
The association's suggestion that low income minorities need help is an insult. And the last one, the realtors' rules harm consumers, but the cartel also lobbies for government policies that cost taxpayers.
So this is all in Andy Florence's email. This dude's doing his homework. He's watching closely. He's running a $35 billion market cap company,
Yeah.
and he's still got time to consume and know the ins and the outs of what's going on. He goes on to say Realtor.com's sister company, meaning Wall Street Journal, has even bragged about their aggressive coverage. The NAR has objected to our editorial challenging its anti-competitive business model, but what you do
What you,
know. On Tuesday, a federal jury found, we know, we've been covering this on the
yeah.
lawsuits. So clearly, Realtor.com and sister parent companies are actually the ones that are no friends to NAR nor to seller or buyer agents. Just giving you his POV, crystal clear how he
Crystal
feels
clear.
about Realtor.com. Now, remember, Realtor.com and CoStar had a little dance. Okay, Realtor.com's position is that CoStar Homes.com came in and sucked info out of them and left them hung them out to dry there when that deal didn't come together. CoStar's position is Realtor.com didn't have the value for us to move forward with the deal. That was about rumored to be a $3 billion deal, blew up. Both sides have acknowledged the deal, so that's not a rumor, that's a real thing. I hope in the future we can compete on the merits of our products and not with degrading gossip. We think Homes.com has a better business model, a better user experience, and most importantly, a better experience for realtors. Homes.com provides a unique opportunity for all realtors, whether they are listing agents who can ensure they are being connected directly to interested buyers or buyer agents who want to connect with would-be buyers with their communities. In closing, despite the NAR lawsuits, I know for certain that Americans will continue to need and value real estate agents. Okay. I love this position. I'll take Andy Florance over. I'll take his acumen, his brain over any person who works at Wall Street Journal any day of the week. He'll run circles around the whole crew. And what Andy Florance, CEO of CoStar, says that Americans will continue to need and value real estate agents when they buy or sell their homes.
Well, he's much more clear and concise even from the videos that we're getting from NAR too. You know, he's very clear on his position about agents. He's very clear on his position with the profession. And NAR still just keeps giving us words. So,
I mean,
um,
I will never doubt Andy Florance. I'm not saying that I think the your listing, your lead business model is perfect. I see flaws, I just gave you both sides on it at the beginning of this
right.
pod. But I do think if you're looking for someone who's proven to be the best CEO in the real estate space, you can't look any further than Andy Florance. Every year he should be named Swanepoel's most powerful person in real estate because he is, to me, the most powerful person in real estate. When he writes an email, it should be dissected like we just did here on this pod. When he speaks, he should be listened to. He speaks with clarity. He's one of the few CEOs in America that'll tell you exactly how it is. And I think you can't have any issue with him writing this email. I don't think he really took shots. He's responding to what he perceives
Well,
as
I
a
mean,
shot.
obviously he's known all this information prior and never felt the need to disclose it before they actually then started attacking him. So,
Yeah.
I mean, he obviously could have easily sent out this email prior to anything, you know, voicing his opinion on it, but obviously it was in response to them attacking him and his business.
Yeah.
But
Interesting. Be
very
definitely looking forward to seeing what homes.com does in 2024. I listened to their earning reports. They're not going away. They are going to be a major player in the residential portal war. Zillow and Realtor Zillow and Homes, to me, are both being pretty clear on what their model is. Realtor.com somewhere in the middle. They're trying to a little bit figure themselves out, and to their own admission, by the way. Even their CEO has kind of said, "Hey, you know, we're going through, you know, some things here where we need to get back to who we are, find out maybe who we are." And they've pointed towards that content a lot in what they've said, where the advantages of Wall Street Journal
for
doesn't
their
look like an
partnership.
advantage
Yeah.
anymore. So they also need to, with their name, Realtor.com, and things going on at NAR, they need to figure out that because there is a perception from consumers and hard to educate them that those are two different things.
Right.
Do you rebrand a Realtor.com? Realtor.com's made the position that they would never would. And so that's what you got. Update on the portal war leaking into the lawsuit war, leaking into the NAR dilemmas. It's all bleeding together. When there's blood on the streets, Nicole, there's opportunity. I think the future is bright for agents. Know about this stuff. You're going to be able to find opportunity in all the chaos that is happening.
Look at you.
Nicole, $299 next week.
You feel good today. I like it.
I do kind of feel good today.
Yeah. No, 99 next week.
Yeah, $299 next week. And then episode 300 on December 11th. We're going to be recording that in Connecticut. If you're in the Connecticut area, reach out to me. Maybe on Instagram DM or Nicole on Instagram DM. Get the details. We're going to be doing an audience recording for episode 300 at our new development, 66 High Street, which has got a few remaining units left. But we're going to do it inside of one of the units, set records in Connecticut, a live recording for episode 300 of The Real Word. Or a live audience recording. It'll be posted on normal time Tuesdays at 2. Subscribe to the channel if you've yet to do that. If you're watching this before Friday, December 1st or listening to it, you still have time to get in on using code Black Friday, 20% off of BAMX. Prices double on December 1st. everybody in before December 1st gets grandfathered in at their current lowest rate ever. Nicole, I'll be flying up in a couple days, so
I'm excited to see you.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Bring
And
your
then,
jacket. It's cold up here.
I heard. I'll bring my jacket. For everybody else, keep it real. We'll see you next week.
See you guys.